DNA, DNA.
Hey everyone, Stefan here, chilling out, talking about the past, wearing overly flamboyant shirts.
My shirt.
Thanks, my sister bought it for me. As you can already tell, I have a special guest this week, my sister Lucie,
Sister.
who's visiting from the UK. Bruh. And we have basically done a little science experiment. Long story short, about a month ago, our mum and dad did a DNA test and to discover their ancestry. Now, I don't want to blow anyone's scientific understanding of the world, but basically, you're half your dad and you're half your mum. And me and my sister wondered if we'd inherited the same half. Are we going to have the same ancestry results in the test? You know, assuming the milkman is not involved. So, and he wasn't. Our dad's relieved. But yeah, so we both know the ancestry of our parents and grandparents and where they came from, roughly. If you want to break that down, sis.
Yeah, so I guess we are lucky in many respects that we know we are perhaps a bit foreign. So on my mum's side, she is British, was born in the UK, and her mum was half Scottish, half English, and her dad was half Irish, half English. And then on our dad's side, he is British, was born in the UK, but his mum was Irish and his father was Serbian. So we know that we are, at least from a nationality rather than ethnicity perspective, made up of those nationalities.
Yeah, so we're basically
European.
expecting a strong showing from Ireland. Eastern Europe is going to be in the mix, and Britain as well is going to be in the mix in there. Now, this, I'm not going to read them out to you, but this is the breakdown of my mum's DNA. And as you can see, this really reflects what my sister just said. A strong showing in Western Europe, Ireland, and Britain, and a few other curveballs in there. Iberian 1%, and Scandinavian less than 1%. Over on my dad's side, again, strong showing for Ireland, and not too surprisingly, as his father, our granddad, was from Serbia, strong result from Eastern Europe, Southern Europe, the low confidence regions, Finland and Russia, the Caucasus, Spanish 3%, again, interesting one that. Pretty much what we would expect from their results, knowing who our grandparents were. Over to us and our results. Are we the same ethnicity, ancestry?
I don't know. What were you expecting when we did these? Were you expecting it to show that we were similar? Were you because I had no real comprehension of what it would be because it's at a relatively high level. So I thought that we would be quite similar. And I think our traits are relatively similar.
Yeah.
But we're also quite different as well.
Yeah. I had in my heart expected to be more of the Eastern European result. We do say that Lucie looks more like our Irish side of the family, and I, to be honest, look more like my mum's side of the family, but still in my heart, I wanted that strong Serbian Eastern European result, is what I was wanting, expecting. What about you?
Yeah, I think I would have expected that as well. And I would expect me to be more Irish because I'm so pale and
I know.
freckly
Lucie is
and
standing closer to the window. We've had a hard time.
hair.
Hard time getting the lighting right for this one.
But and you tan much more easily and are much more like olive skinned. So I thought that would be a thing. You're much more like stiff upper lip in your approach to things, and I'm much more European. and emotional in my
Cries all the time.
approach. No, I don't.
Cries and gets mad. But what was it? Feisty. Ooh,
Feisty,
feisty.
yeah.
An Irish Serb. Anyway, this is going to be a rambly video. Spoiler alert. Anyway, let's break it down. My results, as you can see, with Irish and Scottish on both sides of the family, it's no surprise that my biggest result is from Ireland, and next followed by Britain. Europe East, Europe South, much lower than my dad's results, less than half of his, which is interesting. And then a smattering of other places: Iberia, Scandinavia, Finland, Northwest Russia, and European Jewish. And then if you want to break down yours roughly, Lucy.
Yeah, so I am Celtic. So Ireland, Scotland, and Wales is my highest proportion. And then Great Britain, European East, and European South, I have slightly higher levels than you do. And then the lower confidence regions are Finland and Russia, Iberia, Scandinavia, Caucasus, and Europe West.
Yeah, so as you can see just from a cursory glance there, we have not inherited the same genes from our parents. Not a massive surprise because we're not twins, but it is interesting to see that the different genes that we've inherited from our parents have affected the ancestry results from Ancestry.com. So neither of us inherited our mum's strong showing for Europe West. That was our mum's largest one, 36%. Is it our grandma's maiden name is Reynolds?
Yeah, which has its origins in Germany. So Europe West is the majority of France and Germany.
Yeah.
And we don't have that. I think mine's less than 1%. So I don't have hardly any of that. You don't have any.
Yeah, you've got less than 1%,
Yeah.
and I have 0% of that according to Ancestry.com, which is interesting because it's our mum's highest result. And you'd have thought with a 50% chance of inheriting that, it would have shown up stronger. So that's interesting.
Definitely. So I think one of the interesting things is that, as you might expect with 3 out of 4 of our grandparents having Celtic blood, is that we are both more Celtic than either of our parents. So I am 45%, which is a massive percentage, really.
Yeah, and I'm 40%, which is higher than I was expecting. I was expecting my Celtic result to be around 25.
Yeah.
I didn't realize my mum's dad was part Irish, so that skewed my perspective. I'm not as up to date on the family history as Lucie is, but that is interesting. But not just that as well. We are both more Scandinavian and Spanish, according to this, than our parents.
The Spanish is a huge curveball. I wouldn't have thought we were Spanish at all.
No.
Really.
So our dad's Iberian Peninsula is 3%, our mum's is 1%. I am a whopping 7%.
It's not even a lower confidence.
Yeah, not even one of their lower confidence regions. They're sure I'm Spanish or Portuguese. And
mine's 3%.
Yours is 3%.
Yeah.
In my heart, I like to feel that that's a little bit of a Roman legion coursing through my veins. We don't know any other... We don't have any knowledge of any Hispanic relatives.
Yeah, none.
So I'm throwing it out there. My theory is that's the Roman legions marching around Europe with Julius Caesar, maybe. He had some Spanish legions.
Maybe.
So I'm throwing that out there. That's where
is that
comes
what
from.
you want to believe? Because that's something we thought about as well. I've always felt like there was an affinity to Italian and like Greek history, and I studied that at university.
Yeah, and you guys know I'm into that from watching the channel as well.
So I wonder whether is it just an interest, something you're interested in, or is it an inherent, like it's your culture. You
I don't know.
understand it's your culture.
I'm an ardent Roman nationalist. I'm working as we speak to restore the Roman Empire.
Wow,
So
good luck with that.
yeah. So that's interesting that we can have higher percentage than our parents when you'd think it would be half theirs at minimum. So
Yeah.
that's interesting. And
what else were you surprised about in your DNA results?
I was definitely surprised at mine and Dad's Jewish score.
Yeah,
Dad,
you're both less than 1%
yeah,
Jewish. No, Dad's less than 1%. You are 1% Jewish.
yeah, and they are low confidence. So Ancestry, if you're watching, does that mean it's a possibility due to the fact that we have such strong Eastern European heritage, or is that really a genetic marker that is from Jewish communities? I'm not sure
It could
what
be
I
the
mean by low
Spanish thing.
confidence.
There's lots of, very strong Jewish population in Spain at one point.
Yeah, it could be that. And one of my viewers left an anti-Semitic comment. I'm going to put it on the screen here. Called me out on this, spotted me as Jewish straight from the off. And you don't know how right you were. He clearly could see right into my genes on that one. And then, yeah, I guess the final one. You've inherited the Caucasus gene from our dad,
from
and I haven't.
So Dad is 5% Caucasus, which is Turkey and round into the Middle East.
And up into Russia, like Georgia, that area.
And I am 2% Caucasus. So I never would have really thought that I had origins in the Middle East or, I guess, Asia Minor. It was called, wasn't it?
You might have to speak louder.
Okay.
just saying. I don't know how it's going to turn out.
And I never would have thought that I had Middle Eastern blood or origins in that part of the world.
Do you have a theory on that?
I do. Well, I think there just would have been a lot of movement of population, like hundreds of years ago. Like looking at the Roman Empire, the Byzantine Empire, the Ottoman Empire. Like, we know we're part Serbian, and Serbia was ruled by the Ottoman Empire for hundreds of years, so...
That's my theory.
Massively... It makes sense if you think about it, but I just never would have thought, we're going back hundreds of years in our DNA, probably.
Yeah.
But that's more than we have oral or physical references and records for our family, so...
Yeah, that's definitely my theory. Some dashing Ottoman cavalry officer, fantastic mustache, stationed overnight somewhere in Serbia. One of our female relatives came up, offered him a coffee, a rakia.
I mean, it may have been a female relative. You don't know.
It could have been. A female came from the Caucasus to Serbia in the Ottoman Empire. Dashing mustache on the part of our ancestor.
I don't know. You hope it has that rose-tinted spectacle approach to things.
You'd hope
it may
so.
not.
That's how all military occupations work in the medieval period.
Yeah.
We've both got the strong mustache gene, at least. Couldn't resist.
Oh my god. Rude.
That's pretty much it, I reckon. Anything else to say about it? We've already been talking 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's quite long.
They're probably done.
Good vlogging. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no worries. Let's get Dad to do the outro. 1 second. Hey, Dad. So, thanks for watching, guys. That's it. I know it's been a little rambly video, but sometimes you got to ramble with the fam. Over here on Lucie's face, there'll be a video YouTube will have picked. You can click on that to watch it. You can also click on my face to subscribe.
See ya.
See ya. Job done.